Hi everyone, and welcome to Orannis' Guide to Mapmaking Episode 3, the final episode in my mapmaking series. I'm Orannis, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Warzone map editor and get your map published. If you haven't seen the other two videos in this series, then go check them out, otherwise let's get started. I'm going to get to the map editor in a second, but I wanted to start this video off by prettying out my map a little because I'm not very happy with how it looks right now. I'll do it in the form of a time lapse so you can kind of see my workflow. So let's get into it. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It took about 2.5 hours. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. Actually, from this point onward, I'm going to be voiceovering my footage because I forgot to record audio. So anyway, let's go back to Warzone. And so the first thing that you need to do to open up the Warzone map editor, so there's this design maps tab in the multiplayer bar, which you probably don't have enabled. So to enable it, go to help, wiki, then go to mapmaking, uploading your SVG, and then click that link there. And so the reason for that is because Warzone just wants to make sure that you've read the wiki before you go and make a map that's not eligible. So now that you've enabled design maps, go and open it up. This is all of my other maps you can see. So go and click add a new map, and Warzone will prompt you to upload your SVG. So that's my SVG. Type in the title. Usually I leave the description for later, and then submit. So now your map should appear in the map design menu. Open it up. Here is your map family menu. A map family is all the different versions of your map, and the reason you'd want different versions of your map is because once you've uploaded your map to Warzone, you can't take it down. So the only way to make changes to it, such as fixing broken connections or bugs in the graphics, is to make different versions of it and set those versions to public. So anyway, these are the different things you can do with your map versions. You can edit it, which we're going to get to in a second. You can duplicate it. You can also delete it. You can change the version just so that you know which version you were always working on, and you can change the mode, which we'll also get to at the end. So let's go and edit, and here's my map. So I actually had to go and fix my map a little. At some point during that time lapse, my territory IDs got reset, so I had to re-upload the SVG using that upload SVG button, the blue one on the side. Anyway, your territory should appear dark gray like this with a small dot in the center representing the center point of the territory. If your territories appear light gray as they did before I just made that cut, you got to go back and set the territory IDs before because you did them wrong before, and also the bonus links should not appear yet because we haven't added them in. So yeah, you can see now the bonus links don't appear. So yeah, at this point we can go and save our map. Make sure to save it once in a while so you don't lose any progress. And so then you can go and check that view army numbers box, and that will show you army numbers as it will appear in Warzone. And at this point, I recommend checking to make sure your army numbers are not too large or too small for the territory sizes, because then Warzone will reject your map. And if you have to go and resize your map in Inkscape, go do that now, because when you re-upload it to Warzone, then all the center numbers will be thrown off, and it's really annoying to have to go and reset all the center numbers. So I usually just delete the whole map and start over, like not delete the SVG, but just delete the map family in Warzone and start over and re-upload the SVG that's resized so that Warzone will automatically give you better center points again. Anyway, I'm just showing on screen now how to go and preview your map like it would appear in a game. Obviously, I'm doing a voiceover, so I don't know exactly what I was thinking at the time. Now it's time to go and set your bonuses. That's the first thing that I like to do. So go and click on the bonuses menu to open it up, and click add new to add a new bonus. So in the bonus name, you can type out your bonus name, the same that it was spelt in the Inkscape ID. You can add spaces here that weren't in the Inkscape ID. You can also add special characters here, but in general, it should be the same or you'll get an issue. Anyway, go and add that, and now you can see the bonus link will appear on the map. So yeah, it'll also appear down there. So you can go back to the bonuses menu, and you can now go and edit your bonus, set the army numbers per turn. I'm not going to set that because I have a special bonus system, as you could probably tell by that whole thing I added on the right. If it's your first time making a map, please don't put a special bonus system. It will be hell for you to make the map. Anyway, yeah, sorry for highlighting that. Don't know how to unhighlight it. You can tell I'm doing my best with the voiceover here. I have no idea what I was talking about in the original thing, but yeah, go and set your bonus color as well. I like to usually use like 3 or 4 colors and alternate them based on which colors are bordering which other colors, but you can put a different color for each bonus if you want. Also, a common practice is that if you have super bonuses, then each bonus in the super bonus should be the same color, but a different shade. So for example, if I had a super bonus, then they might all be different shades of red, but all the bonuses in the super bonus be the same color. Anyway, I don't have any super bonuses in this map, so I don't need to worry about it. Just something to think about if you are going to have super bonuses. I'm going to add all of my bonuses. Be right back. So I've gone and added all of my bonuses. You can see they're all on that list there. Now you can go ahead and add territories to each bonus. So I'm going to add some territories to this bonus here. To select multiple territories, hold Control while clicking, and go select all the territories in this bonus, and then go and check that box next to the territory you're adding it to add those territories to your bonus. And you can see now they're going to appear black because the bonus color is black. I haven't set those yet. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set all of my territories to bonuses. Be right back. After working with the bonuses and finishing those up, I like to set my territory center points. The center point is basically where the, so go and click set center point. The center point is where the number will appear in territory in a game of Warzone. And so Warzone does a pretty good job of setting center points for like normally shaped territories, but if you have some weird shaped territories, the center points might not be in the center, so you have to go and set those manually. So just go and click in the middle of each territory to set the center point. I'm going to do that, and once again, I'll be right back. After center points, The next thing I like to do is set connections. Connections are basically which territories will connect to which territories in a game, which territories can you send armies between. So go and click all to make sure you can view all of your connections, and then set a connection type and start dragging to create connections. It'll basically just appear as a green line like this. You have a few different kinds of connections that you can make. Go ahead and drag all of your connections, by the way. It'll look something like that. You can have wraparound connections just like these. So you can have a horizontal and vertical wraparound connection in case you wanted territories on opposite sides of the board to connect, which can be useful. I don't have that in my map, so I'm going to delete those. To delete a connection, just drag over the connection the same way that you dragged over it in the first place, and that will erase the connection. So anyway, I'm going to go and do all of my connections. Be right back. I'm saying that a lot, but I will be right back. When all of your connections are set, it should look something like this, a bunch of triangles. Usually, unless you have like really funky shaped territories, your connections will just look like triangles. If you have a quadrilateral, it's a good sign that you've missed a connection. And if you have two connections that kind of cross over each other like this, then it's a good sign that you've added an extra connection that shouldn't be there. Anyway, I'm going to go and name all of my territory names. So go and click a territory, type its name over there. Unlike bonus links, this has nothing to do with what you put the territory ID, because obviously the territory ID had a number in Inkscape. So go and type out your territory names. It's actually mandatory to do this, and if you don't, you click validate, you'll get a bunch of errors. So the validate button is just something that you can use to make sure that you've done everything properly in your map and there's no outstanding bugs. You won't be able to publish your map unless it's validated. So go and set all of your territory names. I'm going to go and do that now. At this point, all of my territories are named except one, and I have no idea which one it is. I genuinely don't know, but Warzone is giving me this error, which means that I've obviously missed a territory name. And this will happen a lot. You'll miss one or two territory names, and you'll scour the map trying to find it. It'll take you like an hour. Eventually, you'll find it, but this can be a real pain. So I'm going to show you a quick way to find which territory it is. Go into Inkscape, open up Find and Replace, set that to Properties, set that to All. Go and type in the number that Warzone gave you for your territory ID that's missing. So in my case, it was 5671. Go and uncheck all of these boxes. Make sure the only box that's checked is that one there, and then click Find. And Inkscape will select the territory that the number corresponds to. That territory is not named. So if we go back into Warzone to double check, yeah, you can see that territory is not named. So that can be a real help. So at this point, you can go through and fix all the issues in your map until Warzone validates it. And if you want, you can add distributions, which I am going to show you how to do. A distribution is basically the players can choose it at the beginning of the game, and that will give them a certain pool of territories that they can select from, which will be very cool for role-playing or strategic purposes. So I'm going to go through default and scenario distributions. Let's start with a default distribution. So default distribution is when both players are given the same pool of territories to choose from, and you can choose that pool of territories. So let's go and check that box. I'm going to do outer territories for my example here. So I'm going to go in and type outer territories. And basically my distribution, I want players to only be able to select the outer territories of the map at the beginning of the game if they choose this distribution. So what you can do now, I'm just going to hit that none because that was really annoying. So go and select all the territories you want to be in the pool that players could choose from. So because I'm doing outer territories, for maybe I want them to have to fight to the middle or something, go and select them all, check outer territories, and I will add all the territories to that distribution. And so next I'm going to show a scenario distribution. So if we go back to the distributions menu, hit add new again, check scenario distribution. This one let's do north versus south. And so this just scenario distributions are basically when each player has their own pool of territories to choose from, and the pool that's given to each player, you decide, but it's randomized which pool they actually get. So you decide the territories in the pools, but the pools are randomized. So let's go and add north and south. You can add east, west, however many you want, but I'm just going to stick with 2 here. So this is a 2-player distribution. Go and click add, and you can see now we have those 2 things down there. So I want the player given the north distribution to only be able to select territories from the north of the map. So I'm going to go and select all the territories and then check that box. Now the player given, the player assigned north will only get those territories to choose from. The player assigned south will only get these territories that I'm currently selecting. So I'm going to go and check that box. And now that's how you add distributions. You don't have to do it, but it could be cool. You're probably ready to test your map at this point, so you can close out of the map designer, I'm actually going to just quickly save it and then go and change mode to testing. And this will let you play games on your map with other people that you invite to a game, even though your map isn't public yet. So go and play some test games, spot those broken connections because you probably will have them, especially if it's your first time making a map. And then when you're absolutely sure that everything is perfect, go and change mode to public. And so Warzone has to approve your map because they want to make sure that you didn't put anything inappropriate in the territory names or bonus names. So it could be pending for a few days, but assuming you followed everything in this guide, you should have no reason to get your map rejected. So now you know how to make a map on Warzone. Go and make your first map. It will probably take you a lot longer to make your first map than it will your second and then your third. The experience really does help. But hopefully this series will make life a little bit easier for you, especially if it's your first time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed as always, and I'll see you all next time.